Hi, everybody. Welcome to Reality Pass TV, where we talk about all things reality TV shows and all things reality TV stars in South Africa. So, we just recently got the news that they will be bringing back Ingane Zesthembu, and we will be seeing season 2 of Ingane Zesthembu tomorrow on the 5th of May, you guys, and we are excited about it. I saw the trailer, you guys, and I was hoping that they were going to add on to the cast. I thought that maybe, just maybe, they might add maybe girlfriend Galwandle, one of the girlfriends Galwandle, because apparently Naye, he has a bunch, just like Umpumelelo, and they didn't, you guys. So they're keeping the cast as it was in season 1. Okay, so we have with the girls, we have Usne, we have Abo, and we have Mpilo, and then with the boys, we have Umpumelelo, and we have Ulwandle, you guys. One of the things that I watched recently was Mpilo doing a live on Instagram where she was talking about the show, and she was saying, listen, this season is going to be different for me because I listened to what you guys were saying. You guys have been saying that last season I didn't share a lot. Last season I wasn't so vocal, and a lot of her fans wanted to hear from her, but they didn't. And I think it's because the show focused a lot on Pumelelo's storyline, because he has the 2 girlfriends who are now baby mamas, and it seemed to be a more interesting storyline. And also they focused on Usne, because Usne had to finish a storyline that they had started on Uthando Zesthembu, which was her being pregnant. And since she was coming on Ingane Zesthembu not pregnant, all of us were shocked by it, and we were like, where is the baby that Usne was pregnant with when the season 6 of Uthando Zesthembu ended? So they had to sort of bring that storyline over to Ingane Zesthembu so that they can tell us and show us what happened to Sne's baby, why is Sne not pregnant. So they ended up not focusing on the other cast. It's almost like they were extras on the cast when they are main cast members. So now, you guys, this season she's saying she's going to be sharing more, and when you watch the trailer you see some kind of a confrontation between her and her father, and it's not like it's a aggressive confrontation, but they are talking about a certain issue. I do suspect, you guys, that a lot of it has to do with Mpilo wanting to change her surname, because she has expressed that even on Uthando Zesthembu, that she would love to use Isibongo saka Mseleku. She was happy for Usne when it happened for her, but she was like, listen, I can't wait for it to happen for me, because I do want to use my father's surname. So that is what happened. I think that is going to be part of the storyline. So I thought, as a viewer, I do wonder what storyline they could follow when it comes to Mpilo, besides the storyline of the surname change. But then I thought, you know what, depending on how they do this storyline, it is a storyline that is very relatable, because we do have people that are dealing with that, that will be watching the show. And also it's going to give us an opportunity to learn a little bit more about Mpilo. I feel like sometimes I wonder, does she still have a good relationship with her mother? Does she still go and visit Mlazi? We saw Mpilo a lot, you guys, especially on Instagram, and we never see her with her mom. So I do wonder what's happening with that relationship. So depending on how they hang the storyline, and also depending on whether her biological mom is willing to shoot scenes, it really would be a great storyline if they planned it nicely. Okay, now, you guys, let's go back and see when we meet Mpilo and how we ended up understanding Mpilo to be Makhumalo's child. Mpilo was introduced, of course, in season 1. Okay, when Makhumalo introduces her relationship with Mpilo to Uthando Zesthembu, she says that when she first came Mseleku, she saw this child and she looked around and realized that Umama Walengane was not around Mseleku, and she was like, you know what, this is going to be my child. I don't know if at that time she knew that there were possibilities that she wasn't going to have a child of her own, but it was very early on, because she says that Mpilo, at the time when she met her, she was 7 years old. Now, you guys, for those of you that think that we are crazy to think that there are possibilities that Makhumalo came to the Mseleku family when she was a minor, think about it. Mpilo was 7 when Makhumalo first met her. Mseleku. Okay, now go and find out Makhumalo's age, and now go find out Mpilo's age. Now just do the math. Okay, it will math for you. That's all I'm gonna say. So the first thing, you guys, that we saw of Mpilo, no Makumalo, Mpilo is doing her homework. She hands a letter to Makumalo to say, listen, this is a letter I got from school and it needs to be signed and sent back tomorrow. And Makumalo is like, you got the letter today and it needs to go back to school tomorrow. What is this about? She does exactly what my son does, especially when it's about something that he doesn't really want me to think about a lot. He will give me a letter in the morning and say, please sign here because the school, they need it, you know. And then when you are trying to, find information on when this letter came, you find out the letter was written 3 weeks ago. The letter was supposed to come to you 3 weeks ago, but now he just wants to put you under pressure, so you don't really get to check, why am I getting this letter from school? So Umakumalo looks at that letter. It was a positive letter because at the time Mpilo was being offered an opportunity to apply for a scholarship, okay? Unfortunately, you guys, I don't think that they ever got to tell us if Mpilo got to receive the scholarship, but the issue starts with the letter. That's where we find out that at that time, Mpilo was still using a Zungu surname because Makumalo is like, listen, I know I'm your mom, but this letter really is specific to say that it has to be signed by your parent or it has to be signed by somebody that is your legal guardian, and I'm none of those, so I guess I have to go and see your mom and we can get this letter signed, you guys. She does call Mseleku, who also says the same. Listen, I think that you have to go and see her mom so that she can sign the letter, you guys. I did think about how weird that was because as it stands, you guys, me and my kid's father use different surnames, and I can sign school documents and he can sign school documents because sometimes they do understand that sometimes we be using different surnames, okay? So I don't know what that is all about. So I guess some schools are strict like that. What is interesting about this thing, you guys, is that Mseleku is the one that admits in this thing that he had not done what he needed to do as far as Mpilo was concerned. He said, yes, I do have Mpilo. I never married her mom, but I was supposed to have paid Inhlawulo for her so that she could be able to use Isibongo Saka Mseleku. So at the beginning of the show, you guys, there is no argument as to whether Mseleku wayehlawulile or wayengahlawulile for Mpilo. It was clear that he hadn't done it, and he was blaming himself, saying, listen, I should have done it for my child, but I just haven't done it, okay? Uthobile also talks in this scene about how much she hates it when she is reminded there are things that would happen that would remind her that Mpilo is not her child, and she really, really hates it. I didn't understand it at the time because I was like, it's not like Mpilo is adopted. You know, when you adopt a child, that is just your child. But I felt like you are a stepmom and her mom is still alive. Of course, there are things that are going to remind you that this is not your child. So I just didn't get it at the time why she was saying that she hates it when she's reminded that it's no, Mpilo is not her own. Because I was like, it's not like, it's a bad thing. She does have her mom embolized. At the time, you guys, they do say that Mpilo would go and spend time with her mom once or twice a year. And at the time, Mama Kumalo was feeling like, listen, I'm not sure if it's enough time for her to spend with her mom, but we do try to make sure that at least once a year she goes and spends time with her mom. Another scene we see between Mpilo and Umakumalo is fetching Mpilo because, you guys, when they are sitting down talking about this letter that needed to be signed by Mpilo's mom, and Makumalo decided that she was going to go Mlazi to sign this letter, Mpilo refuses to go with her mom. She's like, Mom, this has nothing to do with me, the fact that she has to sign the letter. I'm wondering at this point, does she have a good relationship with her biological mom? Because I'm like, what child doesn't not want to see their mom? Because Makumalo was like, yeah, we have to go get your mom to sign this letter, but I think you need to come with me. She's like, I do not want to come with you, okay? So in this scene that follows, Makumalo is fetching Mpilo from school, and then she's like, listen, we need to talk because I need to go see your mom. Now at this point, I'm confused because I'm like, but didn't you go and see her at that time when you are supposed to get the letter signed, because it was supposed to go back the following day? But I'm like, okay, I guess it's not really about the letter. We just are supposed to meet Mpilo's mom at this point. So she's also fetching her from school, and she talks about the changing of the surname thing, and she says, listen, I don't know why that other time you did not want to come with me to go see your mom, but I really do think that you need to come with me to go see your mom so we can talk about not just the signing of the documents, but the changing of the surname. Mpilo still insists here to say, listen, I don't want to go with you to go see your mom. I feel like the surname change thing has nothing to do with me, you guys. Mpilo at some point she does say, listen, when it comes to umndeni wako malume wakhe, the Zungu family, she feels like she does not like them very much, okay, and she does not like spending time with her mom when the family is there. And she also says that her mom intimidates her a little bit, okay, and as uti umama onolago mawake, so she did not want to be in that situation when she's coming with umakhumalo to talk about something as sensitive as the changing of the surname. And you guys, she still refuses to go with umakhumalo ayobona mawake. At this point, you guys, I was thinking, this child does not really like spending time with her mom. And am I misunderstanding her? What is happening here? Of course, Mseleku and her mom, but she still has a biological mom. At that time, I wasn't understanding why Mpilo was not really wanting to go see her mom, and this was the second time she was refusing to go with umakhumalo to see her mom Emla's. Uthobile, you guys, ends up going to see Mpilo's mom, which at the same time, it was very weird for me because I'm like, why is it Uthobile that is dealing with all of these things? I know she is below stepmom, but I'm like, I don't know, you guys, it was weird at the time, you guys, but at the same time I was feeling like maybe she just feels like Mseleku is going to avoid it forever to fix whatever needs to be fixed as far as Mpilo is concerned, and she decided to take the driving seat, you know, to the driver's seat to deal with the situation. It was weird that it was Makhumalo that was taking leadership in trying to resolve into Mpilo and Mpilo changing the surname. There is a scene, you guys, where we see Uthobile and another Thobile, because you guys, Mpilo's mom is Thobile Zungu and Mpilo's stepmom is Thobile Khumalo. So both of them are Thobiles, you know, so don't get it confused. When I say Thobile, it's not like I'm making a mistake. She is also Thobile, okay? So Mseleku wacishe wakwana Thobile about two. So Makhumalo does go and see Uthobile Zungu, and also, which is very confusing because in the first scene they're saying the letter was supposed to be signed and taken back the following day, but at this point I don't know if it's like in episode, I don't know if in season 2 already. But it seemed like it had been a long time after that first scene that now, you know, we've got documents for her to sign, but I'm like, maybe it's other documents because, you know, in these schools, they just always wanted to get our signatures for something, okay? So then, you guys, Umakhe goes all the way to Emlazi, and from the way that they greet each other, they look like they are familiar with each other. There is umakhumalo, nomazungu, which is umaga Mpilo. It looks like they're familiar with each other. It doesn't look like there's any animosity between the two of them. Umakhumalo even says, listen, I've never really heard anything negative from Mpilo. She has never spoken to me in a disrespectful way. So we have a very respectful relationship, okay? Obviously, they're not looking like they're best friends. So they greet at the gate, go to the house where Mpilo lives. I don't know if that's the house, like Umuzu Wagubo or Umuzu Wake, they don't clarify. But later on, when they come, they came to the same house. So I am guessing that Umuzu Wakubo lo abehleli gone. So she gets there, you guys, and she says, listen, I know I'm here for you to sign these documents, but there's also a serious issue that we need to talk about, because we do need to talk about the possibilities of getting below to change the surname to the Mseleku family. I do feel like it will make things so much easier in terms of dealing with izinto zasesikoleni. Instead of me coming here all the time, then, you know, I can just sign, Babake can just sign. Why can't we do that? And then Mpilo is like, listen, I don't have a problem with Mpilo changing her surname, but Umusa knows why Mpilo hasn't changed her surname, because he's never done what was supposed to be done as far as Mpilo is concerned. And remember, in the first scene that I talk about, Mseleku, you guys, admit when Umakhumalo calls her to say, here is a letter that needs to be signed by Mpilo. He says in a diary session, listen, as a man, I have not done what I need to do as far as Mpilo is concerned, you guys. It's very weird for me, you guys, that it took the show for them to even take care of that situation, because Mseleku will always present himself as somebody that respects, amasiko and all of that. But then up until recently, Usne, they were saying akahlawuliwe. Up until recently, Mpilo, they were saying it's very weird for me that he hadn't done that. When we met Mseleku in season 1, you guys, he didn't look like a man or swell. In fact, very early on, he bought his wife's cars, like a car each. When he is introducing himself in that first season, he says that each of his wives had 2 cars. They have a house and 2 cars, the wives. Okay, so now I'm thinking, it's not that you don't have 6,000 rand or something. I don't know, you guys. It just didn't make sense at the time why Mseleku was still sitting with a situation where he hadn't paid in Tlawulo. Okay. Now, they're having this conversation. Both the Tobiles are having this conversation. Tobile's like, Musa knows there's a situation. He never did whatever he was supposed to do. If he did everything that he was supposed to do, I definitely wouldn't have an issue with her or with him changing Isbongo Sika Mpilo. Okay. Also, she is sure to mention, that is Tobile Zungu mentions that, listen, this is not something that me and you can talk about and conclude as well, okay? Because this is something that only my mom and Umosa can talk and conclude, because my mom will say, ukuthi inhlawulo ayifunayo ithini and all of that, you guys. So she ends up signing the documents, and I guess now she's saying that, she will get the information back to Mseleku to say, listen, it's not like they have an issue with a child changing the surname, but they are saying do what you are supposed to do as far as the child is concerned, so that we can move ahead and change her surname. Makhumalo is sure to mention, you guys, that listen, I know this is not my place. I know this is not my place. She says, but at the same time, I feel like in order for me to help Mpilo, then, I have to do this. I question you guys, was it really about Mpilo, or was it really about the convenience of, if she has a Mseleku family, she doesn't need to always drive to Mlazi so that she can get the documents signed by Utobile. I don't know, you guys. I'm not sure, because what I'm finding out about this Zesthembu, you guys, is that it's every man for himself, and a lot of the times people are doing things saying that they're doing them for other people, but when you really watch very closely, you realize that people are doing things that benefits them. Even when they are saying they are doing the things for the other person, it's really, for their own selfish reasons, but they will present it as if they're doing it for the other person. And I guess that's just the nature of Zesthembu. You have to look like, even when you have to look like you like them when you really don't like them. Now, you guys, there's another scene. So this was the first time we met Mpilo, when we get to see her sitting down and talking with Makhumalo. Great relationship that they have. We've never seen an interaction between Mseleku and Mpilo, because at some point he does say he does not interact with the baby mamas. Okay. Now, you guys, we see another scene, because remember, the first time Makhumalo said they need to go by Mlazi, Mpilo refused. The second time she refused. So Makhumalo had made this arrangement where she was taking all of the kids to the movies, okay? When they get there, Mpilo's mom comes to surprise Mpilo, because she never wanted to go to Mlazi for whatever. She's like, no, ngizohamba ngoJune, I guess, when the schools are closed. And she surprises Mpilo by showing up. It turns out that Makhumalo had called her to come and surprise Mpilo. At the time, I'm thinking she's coming to watch movies with them, but she ended up leaving before they could watch the movies. This was the first time that we got to see Mpilo interact with her mom, because we had never seen them. Because at this point, you guys, I'm wondering, does she even like her mom? Okay, does she like her mom? How is their relationship like? At some point, she even says that she is intimidated by her mom. So I was like, it's a great opportunity for us to see the interaction. When she shows up, you guys, and Mpilo is happy. She's over the moon, and she's jumping. She goes and hugs her, which for me was pleasant to see, because I was like, oh, at least they have a good relationship. Because I was starting to think that it means Mpilo really prefers to be with Makhumalo and doesn't really care much about her biological mom. She's very happy to see her. She's like so grateful that Umakumalo had made those arrangements, and they do get to sit down and talk, where she is still not understanding why Mpilo is avoiding going. I am the nene was saying Zungu emlazi. Mpilo does say, you guys, she prefers to spend time with her mom away from the Zungu family. And you guys, she says something similar to what Usne said. Remember when Usne said, you know what, when I'm with my family, they always end up talking about all of the bad things that I do. So I don't like my family. She said, Angithandi family, I don't like it. I don't like to spend time with them. Mpilo says something very similar to what Usne said, but Mpilo is saying it about umndeni wako malume wakhe kaZungu. She said, I don't like that family. I don't like how they are. And I love my mom, and I would love to spend time with my mom. And she always seems different when I'm spending time with her away from her family. So I wish that I could get that more. So they do have a great time, you guys, while they're waiting to watch the movie. It's just a talk, and then she walks her mom out. I was grateful for that scene, because for me it gave me that thing of, or gave me an answer, because I had a question of whether they had a good relationship. Does she even like her mom, or she's just feeling like, I wish she being Mseleku without this mom now. But anyway, you guys, she does look very happy to see her mom, and they talk like people that have a very good relationship, you guys. Now we move on to the scene that we get to see, which was the scene in Tlawulo, you guys. In this scene, you guys, it's very interesting, because I've never seen somebody's wife go somewhere to pay inhlawulo for ingane kamyeni wakhe. I've never seen such a scene. Okay, so it's weird that, because, okay, I understand Umakumalo going and seeing Utobile Zungu to say, listen, I think that the thing of changing Mpilo's surname needs to be done. But I'm like, why is Makumalo there now when they are actually going to pay in Tlawulo? I was like, if any wife should have been there, maybe Umacele, but even her, why the wife? Okay. So it's a weird situation, you guys. I'm not understanding why Makumalo is there to negotiate it into Zamatlawulo and all of that. So I'm like, okay, I guess we'll watch, but I just don't understand it. Okay. So the people that are there, there's one guy that they say, unesibongo, that has the same sithakazelo as the same sithakazelo as Kamthombeni, so that person is loboling. That's when, you guys, that's when my first questions about the Mseleku family started coming up in my mind, because I was like, Mseleku just took a random person that is related to him, but not really to go and do indaba yenhlawulo kaMpilo. Where's the family of Mseleku? Where are the uncles? Where are the distant cousins, but cousins nonetheless? Where are those? Okay, where's the grandfather Tile that is still alive? And where's the brother that is not really a brother but a cousin? That kind of thing. We always have those people in our families, but he chose somebody that really looks like they were trying to make it sound like they're related to this person, but not really. It's just a surname, and it's not even a surname. It's just that's why he's there. So there is that man, you guys. Then there is Mngobi, you guys, which we do need to talk about, because I'm like, what the hell happened to Mngobi? Mngobi was Mpume's son. Mpume is Musa Mseleku's sister, and Mngobi was being raised by Umakumalo. By the way, you guys, kudos to Umakumalo, because if there is a child out there that needs to be raised, Mseleku, not Umakumalo, Macele. Okay, if there's a child that needs to be raised, Mseleku Macele is most likely going to be the one, because she has taken in Sne's child, and there is also a child, Yagubo. I don't know what's happening with that one that now she lives with. And also Mngobi, you guys, was basically being raised by Umacele at the time. Okay, so Mngobi is one of the people that are there. Her mom, Umpume, was there, and then Umakumalo. The other people could have gone without Umakumalo, so I'm still not understanding why Umakumalo was there. Okay. Anyway, you guys, they end up coming again as into, because Begunembuzi, and then in Dishi, I guess some stuff that was required, and I guess they had money as well that was asked, that they asked for, as far as Inhlawulo is concerned. Now when they get to the gates, you guys, they're asking for imvula gate, 100 rand ukuvula gate, 100 rand imvula mlomo, 100 rand ugqoka ibhantshi, 100 rand. I'm like, are they here to pay lobola? Okay, at some point they realized that the uncle that is there actually thinks ukuthi kuzolotsholwa, because now he's asking for all of these things. And listen, you guys, then because they thought they would just come in, pay indaba yehlawulo nalezi ndaba besiphethe, I think bekunembuzi as well, just do that and go, because bazohlawula. It's not like bazolobola, but it took longer because umkhulu was wanting this and that. The uncle slash umkhulu imvula mlomo ini ehlise esihlahleni ngigibelise esihlahleni. You know, makulotshola. They want all kinds of stuff. Okay, they get to a point where the Umakhumalo and the others from Mseleku are like, listen, hang on a minute, we need to understand what we are here to do. Umakhumalo ends up calling Ugogo to the side outside and talks to her, and they have a weird talk, you guys, because Umakhumalo is trying to get her, listen, we came here to pay inhlawulo. There's an amount of money that you said we must bring. We brought that money. Ikona lana. Can we just do that? Can we just explain to them what we are here to do? Because it's a good thing that we're here. So now why are we going to end up fighting about the situation? Because we're just here. Then you guys, she says, hey, Umakhumalo ends up saying to Gogo being Utobile's mom, you guys. And this is where I think their relationship with Thobile Zungu went left. Because after that, we've never seen them positively interact with Umakhumalo. Okay? So, Umakhumalo says to Mazungu's mom, listen, if you guys are going on like this, we might end up seeing our Mkoyiso. And we know what Mkoyiso is. What she's basically saying is like, listen, we don't know when Mpilo's mom lost her virginity. So we might end up not paying any cow for her virginity. Inkomoga mama pela, you know? And Ugogo Mpilo says, no, but you are paying it because Mpilo had her first child with Mseleku. And she's like, no, but in Zulu, that's not what it means. So if you guys are going on like this, then we might decide not to pay Mkoyiso. I was like, when has it ever happened in the world that one wife is going to talk about, and like one woman is going to be talking about Mkoyiso of another woman while she's dating the man that was dated by this woman? Okay. Listen, but it's never really her fault because uhlezi epusha Mseleku. Okay, she makes a comment like that, and I was like, listen, this is where the relationship went wrong, because after that we never really saw them as friends, Mpilo kanye no Thobile Khumalo Mseleku. Okay, then they get back in the house, and I guess Mama decides it's okay, it's fine, pay whatever you have. It ends up being like that. And then at the end, you guys, I have to mention, because it changes later on in later seasons, you guys. Ugogo Mpilo is specific to say, thank you very much, you guys, for doing this. I am giving permission for Mpilo to move ahead and change her surname, and everybody is happy. That is the conclusion, you guys. Now, I will mention, you guys, that even though at the beginning of the seasons, the relationship between Thobile Khumalo Mseleku and Thobile Zungu was very good, at some point, it does come to I don't know what, okay? Because there's a phone call that we get to see on the show where Uthobile is getting to call Uthobile Zungu to say, listen, since the last time I was at your house and now actually the paperwork for Mpilo now Home Affairs. And then Uthobile Zungu says, you know what, Thobile, actually I would prefer for Musa to be the one that handles the situation, not you. So if Musa wants to change the child's surname, then he must call me. Almost like saying, girl, I really don't want to talk to you because I have no business with you. I have business with Musa. And if Musa wants to resolve this, I will speak to him. Okay. That was the last time we saw the Thobile Mseleku versus Thobile Zungu interaction. And I think that if it was me and somebody was coming to my home as well and somebody was questioning in the of me losing a virginity with somebody when it had nothing to do with them, I'm not going to have a good relationship with them after that. I think it was the Mkoyiso thing that actually didn't sit well with the Thobile Zungu. Thobile Zungu was like, listen, hold on, okay? There are other things that Mseleku needed to do as far as changing the surname below, okay? Now, you guys, a lot of people have said, Uguti, when you are paying the damages or you're not really, it's not like that gives you the right to take the child and change the surname. Now the child is yours. They say, no, there's like an extra thing you have to do if you want to take. Intlawulo is just ukezi for the damage and everything. But now that child still belongs to that surname, which is your surname. But if you want to take her, you have to pay something that is like a lobola. You are loboling the child so that the child can now be transferred to you, okay? Which is what Mseleku never did, okay? So I feel like maybe it was premature of Gogo to say after Intlawulo that now she was okay with Mpilo changing his surname, because later on it looked like they just being greedy, because now it's like, but you already agreed that she can change her surname. Now why are you saying there's something else that needs to be done? I think after they watched the show, maybe Tomile Zungu was like, ma, why did you say that? There wasn't the time to say that. But also because let's just see how they're going to change their surname without me. So as it stands, you guys, Mpilo's surname has not been changed, and she is still dealing with that currently. And she does say, you guys, that she believes that the family Zungu is being greedy and they're just being difficult. And on the other hand, you guys, Mseleku says that, you know, if Mpilo doesn't change the surname, it doesn't really negatively affect him, because that means that Mpilo will not be able to get any of Makumalo's things. Should anything happen to Makumalo, Mpilo will not get anything because she's not a Mseleku. So those things will have to be distributed to his other kids or to him. So it's not like, you know, so that's why even in Izingane Zesthembu, I think, you guys, because we haven't seen the whole thing, maybe that's why she's saying, listen, I'm not going to lower my standard to accommodate. But imagine your father saying, I'm not going to lower my standards to accommodate you. I wonder how, I need the context here, because I'm like, particularly we all know, sometimes can just vomit when he's trying to speak. So you guys, listen, this is what is going on with Mpilo. Okay, let's catch it tomorrow on Izingane Zesthembu. Do not miss it, because if you miss it, thank you so much for watching this video. Tell me what you think about this whole story in the comment section. Like it before Pumegona, share it with your friends, with your family, and even with strangers.